So thank you. This is a ton of fun, by the way. So thank you, Judy, and thank you, Stan. This is a lot of fun. This is a really cool venue to be tucked in here like this. It's nice and intimate, and to get to know some of the vendors and people in our community. And that's what we're about. That's what we focus on, is community. So when this comes back up, I'll be able to talk a little bit about branding. Earlier I mentioned what we do from a community building and bringing people together perspective by having magazines and a way to be able to just plug into our community. And I want to talk about what that does from a business perspective for people that are looking to brand. So as Phil mentioned earlier, branding comes in a lot of different ways. That is absolutely true. All of us brand ourselves in a particular way. We might not be quite aware of it, but we do. Like, for some reason, every time I put a shirt on, it's blue. And I go back to the dry cleaners and I pick them up, just every single one of them is blue. And so I like the color. So we effectively start to live that way. But one of the most important things, since we're all business owners in here, or representing some kind of business, we're clearly aware that we have to be able to know what our market is, right? We have to be able to identify where are the people swimming that I want to go fishing in. Well, of course you don't catch, that's our way of saying you catch people, right? So if you know where your market is, then you need to own it. And you need to be the one that is in front of those people over and over and over again. So part of branding is identifying your local market. And I'm saying local, and I'm catering this to be local because that's what we do. We're a local company. And North Idaho, or Idaho Media Company, is named my company. And we know that the people that we serve here are local. So know what your local market is. And I'm talking hyper-local. So in our cases, we provide local access into both Hayden Lake and into Coeur d'Alene. So we get all of those together, but we can also do it individually. So part of this is you want to become a household name. So that means when somebody's thinking of your product, when somebody's thinking of doing like anything around where they need help with their business, then Devin can help them out. So I see Devin around. I've met Devin with for a cup of coffee before. I know what she does, and I see her out in the community, and she's branding herself as that, and that's why she's here. So to be able to have that particular kind of brand, you need to own it. You want people saying things like, I don't know where I see you, I just see you everywhere. And that's probably not always the thing that business owners want to hear, because they want to know exactly where their advertising and marketing dollars go, and they want to track all of it. I'm here to tell you, as an advertiser and marketer, it's almost impossible. So just be okay with that, and just know that you want to try things that are in the market that you want to own, that hyper-local market, and you just keep doing it over and over and over again. Because the same thing when I was at WSU over 30 years ago, and now here just as a business owner in media, it's always been exactly the same thing. It's frequency and consistency over time. That's what branding is. It's frequency and consistency over time. And that model has proven to be the case no matter what you're doing, whether it's print or digital or whatever type of marketing that you're doing. Thank you. Look, I just know I was going there.
It's a feeling.
I'm going to take Phil on some presentations with me, just like that was very smooth.
$250 an hour.
Is that it? Okay. So the best way to brand yourself, in my opinion, and what has been successful with the people that we serve, is to build relationship with the people in your market. And so I know that these are kind of buzz terms and they are sometimes overplayed and oversaid, but relationship is what sells a lot of the time. People do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So you want to build relationship with the people that are potentially going to know, like, and trust you. So think of it as building relationship. And that's a little bit hard to think sometimes when you spray all this marketing stuff all over the place and you hope that some of it sticks. That's just how you start to put yourself out there, to where it starts to settle into some of the people that eventually are going to be looking at your product or service, whatever that might be. So we can say right here. So I say Prigital, which is one of the things in the presentation up here, and if you can't read this, it's totally fine. These are probably up here more for me than anybody else. Prigital is print and digital. So, and if anybody in here that's doing any kind of marketing is interested in knowing what some of these statistics are that show that if you do print and digital together, your awareness becomes almost a magnitude of 10 times more. So we also, as an agency, as a media company, we provide digital services for our clients as well, because when you put those together, they get a lot of exposure. Be your brand in your community. I think this is probably more important than before you start to put money into your marketing and advertising. So be the person that you are in your company, out in your community, whatever it is that you're doing. If you're representing an insurance company, if you're a baker, I mean, I don't know, I can't remember the name of the owner's name from Birdie's, but she's a baker. Like, you know that. And people know that, like, these businesses are in our community. When you see the owner out, you just know that's who they are. And so be who you are in the community. Don't make them two separate things. It's always integrated. So we're just who we are. But if you separate your career from who you are and who you present to yourself, that's a mistake. I think you want people to know you're the brand, because ultimately, all of us in here that are doing some kind of business, I have competitors. I don't know if they're competitors, just other people do other things like I do. And so there's people that are doing business with us because they know, like, and trust us. So be your brand out there in the community. I put in here, always be asking for referrals and always give out referrals. Because even if you're not doing business with somebody, if you provide a value to them, like, hey, I don't know where to go to for executive consulting. Well, Judy happens to be an executive consultant. So the more you get to see yourself in the community connecting with people, the more you become a local resource, and that's a brand. That's a brand. So if Aaron's out talking to somebody and they might start to mention, I'm considering doing a podcast, because they know that he's already produced a pretty successful sports podcast in North Idaho already. So good job, Aaron. But to be able to have this brand where, because you're doing what you do, people are recognizing you in the community. Tell your story. Everybody in here has a story. And this is part of why I like to do I'm getting ready to do a lot more of this storytelling with people as part of our service, because people aren't always comfortable telling their story unless somebody starts to pull it out of them. So know your story. So know what you do. Like, what do you really do? Like, I'm sure that if you talk to Judy and she probably wouldn't say, I'm an executive consultant and coach, and just stand there. She'd probably say, here's why I do what I do. Here's why I'm passionate about helping people and organizations and systems and procedures. This is why I'm passionate about helping people become successful. So you need to know what you really do, instead of just saying, well, here's what I do. And kind of like shoulders come in, maybe kind of step back. Own it. Just, this is what I do. Because in your mind, you should know you do it better than anybody else. Know why you do it. So anybody that's been in network marketing before, they always say, what's your why? I'm not in network marketing, but I've been pitched 1,000,000 times. And it's always know your why. So when you know your why, that helps you. Like, it helps you with a couple things. One, it helps you brand yourself, so you're in the community as that why. It also gives you the confidence and self-esteem that you know why you're in front of somebody, why you're in this meeting, why you're asking them for the business, why you're potentially closing a deal, why you're asking them to partner with you, those sorts of things. And know how it's helped and it's helping people. So all of us in here probably know, when I eat some of that pecan pie, I'm being helped. Like, I mean, that's right. I mean, or if you sit down with Judy, or you talk with Aaron, or you talk with other people that are in here and say, well, how can I engage with you? And then they know how to help you. So you know what? You want to make sure you understand how to help people. So that's what's coming across. And if you don't know how you're doing this, or if you don't know how to articulate it, find somebody that can draw that out of you, so you know how to take that and put that back out into the field. So if you're looking at this going, I don't have a story, or I don't know how to do that, or I don't think I do all those things, I guarantee you do. You just don't realize how you're doing it or why you're doing it. So if you have any problem figuring that part out, come talk with me, because I love doing that as part of what we do. Is just, we interview tons of people, and I've become I love that. I think more than any part of this is just interviewing people. So here's the rest of my company. We have the magazines where it just happen to be the same covers that are on because I think they look cool. We have a lot of them. And for those that have been around in like the Coeur d'Alene School District, probably know Chad and Jody. They've taught for years. So training and speaking and publishing. I want to talk about the first one and the rest of them you can see, and you're all welcome to, you're welcome to come over and I can answer questions in my booth. But training, I think, is becoming a really important part of branding. So 2 examples this week that I personally had with, does it seem like customer service is kind of slipping a little bit? Is everybody kind of seeing this, like in wherever we're at? Like it maybe has changed a little bit. You're not quite getting the customer service that you used to.
It's more lip service.
A lot of it is lip service, or they're not even there. Or they're there, but they're not really there, if you know what I mean, right? They're on their phone or something else. This can be solved, and I'm super passionate about this because I like walking into places and engaging with people and having fun conversations, and that's kind of going away because I don't think people are being trained to do this as effectively. It was like a no-brainer back in the day, like you just had to do it, and people just kind of knew how to do that. I think it's maybe an art that's getting lost a little bit. So we do that. We go in and help organizations with their customer service, and help them provide, exceptional customer service. I know that doesn't sound like a magazine publisher, but it's because we want everybody that we do business with to be super successful so that they stay with us and partner with us.